let's discuss this load shedding issue, because a lot of people are now focused on the wrong thing. Jacob Zuma says to us in 2009, and I said to somebody that, growing up is realizing that there was a part of the former president Jacob Zuma that truly loved South Africa. There was a part of the man that loved South Africa. Although we might not agree on certain things, we might have issues on certain things where he let things slide, but there was a part of the man that loved South Africa. When Jacob Zuma said, let's build nuclear, he was on the ball, he was on the mark. Because what we need in South Africa is nuclear. And the worst part about it is no one is talking about it. And let me maybe open it up so everybody understands it. If you want to own electricity, you are in a monopoly of note. No one can compete with you. No one can question your prices. Contracts get signed for many years to come. And what these people have done, and I've gotten to the point where I say, if we don't tell young people the truth, we're failing ourselves. What they've done is they've asked themselves the question to say, how can we own electricity in South Africa? They realize that they don't have enough capital to do so. So they go to America, they go to Europe, and they join what I call the climate cult. And I'll explain why this climate change situation is very occultic. Because climate change only works when it comes to Africa. Only Africa should switch off its power stations. Africa, you're going to kill the rest of the world with your coal. Oh, but America and Europe, please, we've got strong winters. We need switch on the coal. We can't let people die.
Asia as well.
Asia as well, yeah. We can't let our manufacturing stop. Our GDP is dropping. Please switch on the coal. But Africa, focus on solar. You have the sun. Africa, focus on wind. You have good climate. I mean, go to the bush and build a wind power station. And the danger of this is these men have believed it because the thinking capacity is not there. They go into meetings where world leaders say to them, we'll give you 160 billion, a loan of which they took to build.
That's rands.
Yes, that's rands.
The $8.5 billion
dollars. Yeah, that in rands about 160.
Okay.
Which you can use to build independent power stations. You own the power stations. So we'll give your government a loan. Then you set up little companies and get that money from your government and you build independent power stations. And these guys say, but our people will never allow it. The unions will never allow it. They'll never allow individuals to own electricity. And immediately they say, oh, no problem. Frustrate them. Get them to the point where they will allow them. Where there's a will, there's a way. And the guys say, okay, how do we frustrate them? And they say, let the ANC start looting Eskom. And a company is set up known as Chancellor House. Chancellor House gets every tender there is to get to build power stations. They go to China, they find Hitachi, they say, Hitachi, come through, let's share a share spreading deal, let's work together, let's build power stations. Now, fundamentally, how are we allowing people that have no experience in electricity, politicians, to build power stations? Fundamentally, let's start there. Nuclear energy is a low carbon emission. So if we were talking green, as the Europeans and all these people are saying green energy, climate change, climate police, if they really wanted to help us, they would have given us money for nuclear. Europe is building the biggest nuclear power station. China, nuclear power station. India, nuclear power station. Russia, nuclear. BRICS, nuclear power station. Tina, solar panels. Windmills. Okay, if I'm in school...
Sorry, wind turbines.
Wind turbines, yeah.
Before people attack you.
But if I'm in school, Penuel, and everybody in the school is buying a Ferrari, and me now I'm buying a bicycle. I'm saying I'm in the race. Everybody's saying, hey, Baba, we'll give you a loan to buy a bicycle. But
it's green and it's low
emission.
It's
green, it's low emission. You know, you aren't harming the earth. How? But you guys are buying Ferraris. The biggest insult, and people need to understand this, the reason why South Africa was put into BRICS is because they need South Africa. We have uranium. Uranium powers fuel, so nuclear. It's the fuel for nuclear, right? We're in the top 10 of the largest producers of uranium in the world. Our uranium deposits, I believe, we're definitely number one, but scientists are saying, hey, top 10, other countries also have it, and many of them, they lie about minerals because they're trying to get Africa to lessen the price. People don't know this. When you read state security documents, there are countries that have lied about minerals just so Africa can become a bit calm. Because if we knew that we're the only ones who have it, we'll be stronger. But we'll get to that. If we've got the fuel for nuclear and we continue shipping it to other countries, why aren't we building our own nuclear power stations? Is it because we don't have enough funds? Okay, why are you giving us 160 billion to build windmills instead of nuclear? Why was Jacob Zuma shut down when he spoke about nuclear? And many others agreed. CSIR agreed. And they said nuclear is the way. Why is it that everybody who's now close or friends with the one who's ruling is now building an independent power station? And remember, South Africans won't question this because we're under pressure. We're under pressure. Load shedding has taken away jobs. Load shedding has frustrated. There is no South African that is not at breaking point. So if anybody tells you we are building solar to try and help, you listen. In fact, you'll be grateful. But the truth is that was never the right choice. It was a choice that was carved for us to make sure that we never become the giant that we need to become. Because when you ask Arise and say, Mpho, what are the policies? I immediately tell you, fourth industrial revolution. We're building manufacturing hubs. We're building medical devices. We're building moving cars. I immediately go to manufacturing. And immediately they'll say, let's tame him. Yes, it's possible through 3D printing. Yes, your blockchain can work. Everything you said is right. Where will you get the electricity? Because where there's no nuclear, these things become very difficult to do. Nuclear is the bedrock of the fourth industrial revolution. They saw it coming to say, there's a generation of young people that are into tech that understand how things work. These young people might give us issues in the future. Kill them quick and use electricity to do so. Because not that I have issues with all these things. The issue for me, the biggest issue is in the future, yes, solar panels and everything will give us electricity for what, 5 years? Yeah, we'll come out of load shedding for 5 years. But after that 5 years, we are back to square one, even worse. What could have given us enough energy to build a strong nation? Where everywhere around the world, they say, if you want to build something, in Africa, they have electricity, they have the minerals. Literally, it's in the ground. Whatever you want to build, just go and dig, it's there in the ground. So that becomes one of the biggest frustrations that I've ever seen in our country.
Listening to this interesting conversation from Mpho Dagada, I can't help but wonder, if Africa have the fuel for nuclear power plant, why isn't Africa building its own nuclear power to generate electricity for its own continent? Yes, solar energy, wind turbines, is green and have no carbon emission, as well as nuclear energy, which is the bedrock for the fourth industrial revolution. So my question is, why is Africa going to take loan from the West to build solar energy and wind turbines instead of taking that same loan to build nuclear power plant to generate electricity that is going to last forever and industrialize the continent of Africa? So for Africa to be able to industrialize, it will not be this windmill and solar panels that is going to power their manufacturing plants, because for any country to fully stand strong and be industrialized, they need a strong electricity, and that can only be possible if Africa can build its own nuclear power plant to generate electricity for its industries. As of now, only South Africa and Egypt in the continent of Africa are able to boast of a nuclear power plant, which is still limited. More countries in Africa move ahead to build their own nuclear power plant to generate electricity for the continent. More industries that are sophisticated are going to establish in Africa. And for Africa to compete at the world stage, since most continents like America, Europe, India, China, and Russia are building nuclear power plant, which is low carbon emission. And Africa already have the upper hand, since they have the raw material or the fuel for nuclear energy. Africa, wake up. Africa, rise up. Africa without borders. Africa, continental free trade area. The time is now. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.